Hey everybody, Adam Savage, and I am in the National Park Service Museum Conservation Lab alongside Maeve. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Maeve, we're looking at a piece of military dress here.
We are. So this belonged to a man named John Blair Royal, Royal with two L's at the end, who was in the artillery, I think the Richmond howitzers. He was a Confederate. This particular jacket he wore during the Battle of Chancellorsville.
Oh, wow.
And the important thing about this jacket for that story is during the Battle of Chancellorsville, an artillery shell came and wounded him in the arm.
Why, I'll say.
And it kept going and killed the guy behind him. They were on the same gun. So he kept it after that in this state as like a reminder of my close call with death. But he died a year later in a different battle. So he didn't keep it for all that long.
But I really appreciate that he kept it.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Admiral Lord Nelson's Trafalgar uniform with the bullet hole that killed him still in the breast of it.
Yeah.
So how did this come to you guys?
So this is from the American Civil War Museum in Richmond, Virginia, and they have loaned it to Gettysburg for an upcoming exhibit rotation. Because textiles especially, but pretty much all objects, kind of need to be rotated in and out because of light damage. So we don't want to have things on exhibit indefinitely because that will contribute to damage. So some stuff is coming off of exhibit at Gettysburg and stuff like this is going to go up for the next kind of rotation.
And so that's all about basically limiting the amount of exposure so these things get to be displayed to the public for the longest period of time.
For the longest time, yeah, it'll keep them in their current state as long as possible.
I'm getting this feeling that you guys are really clear that all of this stuff eventually will turn to dust. Your goal is just to make that take as long as possible.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's so sad. I mean, that makes me sad, but...
but there's something pretty about that too.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's forever.
So if this was already in a museum, are there common things you would check because it's coming back through rotation, or does this present any special issues?
So the main special issue with it is this. So like frequently we try and fix big problems that are like structurally a problem for the object.
But in this case, it's the narrative.
Yeah, that's the story right there. So coming up with a way to support it when it's on exhibit without because when it's up, if there's nothing in this arm, the weight of this kind of pulls.
Oh, right. So it would make it tear.
It would make it more, which obviously we don't want.
You don't want it hanging on something and pulling itself to pieces.
Yeah. So the challenge with this guy was like, how do we support it and make it happy for a display, but also keep this looking the way that it does?
Right. I would also imagine that this fabric isn't it's not at its most flexible.
No,
and it's a very it looks quite heavy too.
It's not that bad. It's actually in fairly stable condition. There's some bug damage on it. This is like a cotton and wool. So like the white threads are cotton and then the kind of tan threads going across are wool.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's still fairly flexible, which is great.
Liner.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's all hand stitched.
Wow.
And then these buttons are adorable. I don't think they're military buttons.
I don't think they were special ones.
Yeah, so we've got flower buttons there, and then up on the shoulders, they're eagles, which are American, not Confederate. So I don't know what the story there is, but Confederate jacket with American buttons.
I think that. Wow. Oh, and you guys re-secured the buttons. So
this actually, it came to us like this. Okay. I think probably at the Civil War Museum, they probably did that as a just keep them where they're at. And with white thread, it makes it really easy to be like, that thread is not original. Right. The most exciting thing for me was right here.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what that is. And when I was doing my first measurements to kind of figure out roughly what size mannequin we needed, I usually measure shoulders, chest, and then at the hemline, and all of those measurements were 16. And then I opened it up and I'm like, does that say 16, 16, 16? Is that what's going on there?
I mean, talk about communion with a craftsperson from a couple hundred years ago.
Which is also kind of surprising because that's very boxy. Most people are not
16,
completely
16.
A rectangle.
Yeah.
And it seems like that was kind of the style for these things. They were made at the Richmond Clothing Depot. And so I've got a picture of this guy. This is not John Blair Royal. No, he's just in a similar jacket, but it's a very boxy fit.
It really is.
Boxy fit with really big arms.
It doesn't look like that would be easy to fight in.
No, the big arms, at the elbow, is for giving you ease of movement.
Okay.
There's also a pretty kind of more space than you would expect in like the shoulder blade area, so that you can like have that sort of range of movement. But I think a lot of them probably wore it just like top buttoned and the rest of it open, because I can't imagine that that's a particularly comfortable.
This patina is so beautiful. There's so much going on. Okay, actually, I do have one question. When you say you bring stuff in and out of the collections, do you keep records of how long something's been out?
The park will be keeping those sorts of records. They kind of keep track of all of that. And
so in a database, you guys have a ticking clock of like 3,000 hours in the sun, we're moving it out.
We try and do stuff like that to kind of be like, there's a limited amount of time that would be ideal for this to be out. Right.
Okay, so tell me, have you solved the problem of how to display it, or are you in the middle of solving it?
I think I'm there.
Okay.
So treatment-wise, I did very little because it's pretty much in good shape. There were a couple seams that were coming undone that I was like, okay, I just want to make sure those don't pull more when it's under tension. But the mannequin is like 90% of the way there.
Well, let's talk about this mannequin. I recognize this as a fairly standard museum mannequin.
Yes.
Made of all archival, inert materials.
Yeah, so the mannequin itself is ethifoam, which is a polyethylene foam. And we got it with like kind of the basic shape, but then I've had to do a lot of customization to get it to fit the really boxy proportions of this. So the first most obvious thing that I had to do was, because I needed such a small mannequin, because he was so small. I needed a mannequin that does not have shoulder attachments on it. So the arms couldn't just pop in. So I had to make this little vest. So the arms snap on. So those come off.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that's also helpful for dressing the mannequin, because like the mannequin can't bend the way we can when we put on our clothes.
And you don't want to take a 150-year-old piece of fabric.
That I can just do the arms first and then put them on this. But then, let's see, I think I have this. So this cover is just kind of to give it a nice slick surface.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much. So underneath here, we have a combination of carving, foss shape, and needle felted polyester batting.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so I had to do some carving down, and then I have like foss shape panels here to make him a little boxier, and also in the back also for boxiness, and then building up the shoulders a little bit, and a lot of space in the back, because they have all of that space for movement in the back of it, but I still want that supported. So building up kind of the shoulder blade area. So
is this a process of you working on the shape here and then putting the arms in and bringing the coat over, trying it out, looking at it, and just
kind of back and
iterating.
forth, trying to put it on the least number of times as possible, because you don't want any more stress than it needs. But trying to put it on, figure out where it needs more, trying to start always at the top down, because the shoulders really are like...
They set the tone?
They do. It's like when you're fitting a garment, like a new garment, the shoulders are kind of the most important thing. Everything hangs from there. And the same is true when you're trying to fit a human shape into a garment. It's like a little change in the shoulder will just change the fit completely. I really appreciate that advice, because for me, I love making my costumes, but dressing them on mannequins is a really surprisingly difficult process to get a gesture out of a mannequin. I once got it so right, you'll like this. I once made an armor stand for a suit of armor that was so human in its affect that it scared us for weeks. And I had to just move it closer to a wall than a person would stand. And the moment it was there, we didn't get scared anymore. But it was too real. No, I've had that reaction some. I had a frock coat on a mannequin a couple weeks ago, and it just where I was working on it, it was in front of the door, and people kept walking by and being like, and like, what is going on there? And I was like, okay, I feel like I did a good job then. I'm spooking people. That's good. I just love this this harness that you made. Can you put it back on? And I want to talk about the arm stabilization. Yeah. Let's see. So do you feel like this is mostly there? I feel pretty happy with the fit of it. The last things that I need to do really are just kind of like finishing touches. So like if you see the pole at the bottom is sticking out a bit. That's because I had to cut the butt off of this mannequin because it's a short jacket. So I don't really want, it would look kind of weird if the mannequin kept going past the hem of the jacket. Oh, right. So it just has to be invisible. Slice off there. Yeah, and this arm vest thing was, I found a pattern in a bin that someone had labeled good for Civil War uniform mannequins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so someone had been using a very similar thing.
Oh, I love that someone had solved this problem before.
Yeah, so I just used their pattern, and then I've had to make a few adjustments to get kind of the arms where I want them. So like that's what's going on here. Is like,
that's why those darts.
Yeah, just like making a couple little adjustments to get them to be, kind of like in first position.
And that's still really quite non-trivial because the jacket has weight to it, and it's going to pull against all of the...
Yeah, so it's like it took several tries to get that right because I kept putting the arms too low, and then like it looked very round-shouldered when I put the jacket on. I'm like, oh, I need to come up.
Okay, so let's talk about this arm. This is the literal scene of the crime.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what you've constructed here.
So this is fa shape, and then so I kind of molded that to the arm with some padding underneath it to kind of be like this arm shape, but just a little bigger.
Right.
And then kind of traced out the shape of that hole, cut it out, and I've covered it with a cotton knit so that it can mold to the areas, but like, because you'll see a little bit of this on the thing. So this is fairly close to the lining color. And then underneath, I just have a lycra knit that's black. That'll be the kind of the show color for this. Right. So like the last things I need to do are like, black up here, black wrists, black under here, in case someone is, craning their neck and looking up under it. But fit's done. And
this holds your elbow in orientation without it putting undue weight on any other part.
Yeah, especially down here, it gives it its shape, but it also kind of prevents the dragging like here, which is what I was a little worried about.
And I see you've got Tyvek for helping to slide on. It is amazing.
Yeah, because the fa shape has like a little bit of a tooth to it.
Yeah.
So trying to cover all of that up so we don't have anything snagging on the inside or leaving any little white fibers on things.
Dude, it sounds like, I mean, I think I kind of knew this when we were talking about us coming here to film, but it sounds like every last object you deal with is unique.
Yes. Yeah, and like for this project, there's going to be, I think, 6 total mannequins, and they're all going to be totally different.
With all sorts of different requirements, different needs for support. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like we're starting with like a common base. We've got 6 of these guys.
Yeah.
But they're all going to need slightly different shapes. Like I think Union troops weren't quite so boxy. Not the people, but I think the cut of the jackets were not quite so boxy. So those are going to need slightly different things than this guy did.
That's amazing. Maeve, thank you so much for this tour. Yeah. It is so thrilling.
I could put the jacket on it.
Oh, yeah, let's totally. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, let's finish with that. Yeah. There is something magical about seeing this up close and really seeing the movement of the fabric, its dimension, its thickness. It's really incredible.
It makes it all seem much more real to me. I really like costume for that. It's like, I realized that all of these people were just regular people.
Right.
It's like the good things they do seem more impressive and more relatable, and then like the evil things seem much scarier, I think.
Now, when you're putting final finishing touches on this, is this also one where you'll reach out to your colleagues and say, hey, give me a fresh pair of eyes? What do you see or wish would be?
Yeah, definitely. We do that a lot. Just kind of go grab some eyes from other labs and be like, so where do you think I've been working? What do you think, like, what stands out to you when you look at it?
Yeah. Maeve, I'm just a little curious because I've noticed that you've been handling the fabric without gloves, except you put on some gloves to button it up.
So for metals, you always want to be wearing gloves because the oils in our fingers can kind of etch into there and cause permanent damage. But for textiles, generally, there are some exceptions, but best practices are clean, dry hands, not gloves, because you can't really feel all of the subtleties of it through the gloves, and it can be very easy to pull too hard or like just snag and not quite do it right and cause more damage if you're wearing gloves. So unless the fabric poses some sort of danger health-wise to a human, I don't wear gloves.
Fair. That's also similar in paper conservation.
Yeah, same thing.
I was surprised when we were at the Royal Society in London, and they were like, just go wash your hands and you can flip through Newton's Principia.
Yeah, no, it's like you cause more damage if you can't feel exactly what you're doing.
But also what a real grace, because you guys are real artisans here, and as artisans you need the direct connection with the object. Maeve, that is thrilling. Mannequin dressing remains one of the most difficult things I do as a maker. And you've given me a lot of inspiration here.
Oh, great. Yeah. I think it's really fun, but I also find it very difficult. It's a hard one.
And at the end, a character starts to emerge.
Yeah, you get a feel for him.
Yeah, that is really thrilling. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching that video. If while watching any of my videos you like any of the t-shirts that you see me wearing, well, you can go buy them. And there's two places you can get them. First, you can go to tested-store.com, a web address that my crew laughs is one of the hardest things for me to remember in my whole brain. But now they've given me a second URL. You can now go to adamsavage.com and buy any of the t-shirts you see me wearing on this channel. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff there too. Thanks.